بعد الحمد لله والثناء إليه وصلي وسلم على نبينا Muhammad وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعده. Continue the morning reading of Ahaadeeth, reading from Jami' Al-Tirmidhi, أبواب الصلاة. وصلنا باب ما جاء في تحريم الصلاة وتحليلها. We reached the chapter or the topic regarding the issue of the tahrim of the salat and its tahleel and the tahleel of the salat. حدثنا سفيان بن الوكيع حدثنا محمد بن فضيل عن أبي سفيان قريش السعدي عن أبي نضرة عن أبي سعيد قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم مفتاح الصلاة الطهور وتحريمها التكبير وتحليلها التسليم ولا صلاة لمن لم يقرأ بالحمد وسورة في فريضة أو غيرها. Abu Sa'id, he narrated that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, the miftah, or the key to the salat, is at-tuhur, the purification, and the wudu or ghusl or tayammum. Its tahrim is the takbir. The tahrim is the entering of the prayer, meaning after the what makes it sacred is when you make the takbir. Now this salat becomes sacred, meaning there's things that are prohibited that you cannot do while you're praying. There's things you cannot do. They are prohibited while praying. So some things that you can normally do, you cannot do while you're making salat. So once you say a takbir, this makes the prayer now become sacred, and now you can only do what's allowed in the prayer. And its tahleel is the taslim. So tahleel, being its completion, is the taslim, which is when we say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So now the prayer, now things become what? Halal again. Things become halal. So there were things that were prohibited. Once you said takbir in the beginning, and then once you say at-taslim, assalamu alaikum, now things become halal, permissible again. And there is no salah for one who did not recite alhamd. Yani alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen or al-fatiha. So there's no prayer for the one who does not recite al-fatiha. So this is one of the things that's incumbent, mandatory, obligatory upon every Muslim to know how to recite al-fatiha correctly, because there's no prayer without the al-fatiha. So even if a person just embraces Islam, this is from the first things they must learn al-fatiha so that their prayer can be accepted. And he said, and a surah in the obligatory prayer or other prayers. So if one adds another surah or some verses, then this is also good. قال أبو عيسى هذا حديث حسن صحيح. He said that this hadith is حسن. وفي الباب عن علي وعائشة. And there's also narrations from Ali رضي الله عنه وعائشة رضي الله عنها. قال وحديث علي ابن أبي طالب في هذا أجود إسناد وأصح من حديث أبي سعيد. So the narration, or the hadith of, from Ali ibn Abi Talib, it is more better and more correct than and in regard to its chain than the one of Abi Sa'id. وقد كتبناه في أول كتاب الوضوء, and it has been written in the first uh, chapter or book of wudu. والعمل عليه عند أهل العلم من أصحاب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ومن بعدهم, and the companions, the people of knowledge from amongst the companions The people of knowledge from amongst the companions of the Prophet ﷺ and those who came after them, they acted according to this hadith. وبه يقول سفيان الثوري وابن المبارك والشافعي وأحمد وإسحاق. And also, this is the view of Sufyan al-Thawri and Ibn al-Mubarak and Imam al-Shafi'i wa Imam Ahmad wa Imam Ishaq. In the tahrim salat at-takbir, that the tahrim or the sanctity of the salat is the takbir. ولا يكون الرجل داخلا في صلاة إلا بالتكبير. And the man, person does not enter the prayer except that they start with the takbir. So this is important that when you come to the prayer, مثلا, for example, if the people are already praying and you enter the prayer, you also must start your prayer with the takbir, saying Allahu Akbar. If they're in another position other than standing, for example, they're in the ruku' or they're in sujood or they're in the jalsa, they're sitting, any position that they're in, before joining that position, you must say the takbir, meaning that you make the takbir ihram, that you now enter the prayer, and then you make another takbir to go into that position. So that's one takbir to enter the prayer, and then there's the takbir of the naqla, of moving from one position to the next. So as we know, when we go into ruku', before going to ruku', you say what? Allahu Akbar. You raising up, you say Sami Allahu man hamida. And when you go into sujood, you say Allahu Akbar. So this is takbir of moving to the next position. So you must say the first takbir, and then you make the next which makes it the prayer tahrim, and then you make the next takbir of going into the next position that you're in. If they're already standing, you just make the one takbir, and you stay with them as they are standing. But if you're catching the rak'ah, either in the ruku' or sujood or jalsa, then you would make the second takbir to move into that position. Without making that first takbir of making the prayer tahrim, so you have to be conscious of what you're doing, then there is no prayer. The prayer is invalid. قال أبو عيسى وسمعت أبا بكر محمد ابن أبان مستملي وكيع يقول سمعت عبد الرحمن ابن مهدي يقول لو افتتح الرجل الصلاة ب70 اسما من أسماء الله ولم يكبر لم يجزه. He said that he heard Abdurrahman ibn Mahdi saying that even if a person opened up their prayer with mentioning 70 of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but they did not make the takbir, then that does not suffice for him. وإن أحدث قبل أن يسلم أمرته أن يتودع ثم يرجع إلى مكانه ويسلم إنما أمر على وجهه. So even وأبو نضرة اسمه المنذر ibn Malik ibn Quta'. So even if a person, he said, and if he were to commit what's called hadith before the taslim. So hadith is something that would do what? Break your prayer, right? Mathalan, break wind or something of this nature. So then he would have to do what? And he did it before the taslim. He will have to go what? Make wudu, then return to his place and say the taslim. So if he breaks and go, return, he said, then come back and make the taslim. For indeed, the matter is only as it appears. And the name, Abu Nadratan Ismahu, his name is Al-Munzir ibn Malik ibn Quta'. طيب, so we stop here, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Yeah,